Hello, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, wherever you are. This is Musa Olatunji, and I'm the host for More Global Network Facebook group. So, in this community, we have change makers around the world who are ready to network and contribute to their respective community. So, today we'll be having my brother from Tibet, whose name is Ambassador Yeshi Dawa. He's also a fellow Global Youth Ambassador, where we represent our respective countries advocating for quality education. So today we'll be talking much more about youth participation in good governance. So before we go further, I would like to read a little bit about him. Mr. Yeshi Dawa hails from Tibet. He's an alumnus of THF. He pursued BA and MA in political science from BHU and MSU Baroda in 2015 and 2017 respectively. He was elected as president of Tibetan College Student Research Committee in 2015. Later, he was elected as the president of RTYC Baroda in 2016. Subsequently, he was appointed as on-board member of Gujarat Students Parliament. In 2017, he joined as academic administrator at Institute of Leadership and Governance, the MSU Baroda. He was also joint coordinator of National Youth Conference, Gujarat in 2018, the first Tibetan to hold Global Youth Ambassadorship in 2018. He received Gaden Phodrang Award in Humanity Stream in 2012, Young Contributor Award in Baroda 2017. I know we have a lot of profile, he has a lot of profile, but we just had to use the shortened citation just to introduce our guest. And I'm very sure Mr. Baroda, Mr. Yeshi Dawa, is up to you.
Okay, thank you so much for your kind introduction. I was very happy when you requested me to speak on this topic. This topic, to my mind, is very important in today's world. So I'll speak not more than 30 minutes on this topic. Then we will go for question and answer sessions. So we will be having more funds and more engagement in that part. So before I start my talk, I would like to acknowledge the kind gesture that has been shown towards me and my nation. So I was having a conversation with Musa, right? So I told him that I'm from Tibet. So I think there are many people in the world who are not aware of my nation. So I'll first talk a little bit about my nation. So that is very important because I'm representing my nation. So Tibet was actually an independent nation before 1951. But in 1951, when China forced us to sign 17-point agreement, since then we have been under China's occupation. So it has been almost 70 years. We are still under China's occupation. And we are in exile, and we are having our own freedom to raise issues about Tibet. But Tibetans in Tibet are suffering under the Chinese regime. So there's no political freedom. If you talk about Tibetan issue in Tibet, you will end up in prison, and you can't even keep a portrait of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama in your own home. So that is the real situation inside Tibet. When it comes to religion, Tibet is a Buddhist majority nation. You can't even practice Buddhism freely. I'll give you an example, which was imposed by Chinese government back in 2000s. If you wish to become a monk, you will have to give a preliminary test. So they will ask different questions in that preliminary test. Some questions are like, is His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama a separatist? If you say no, then you won't get admission in any of the monasteries in Tibet. So that is the harsh reality of Tibetans in Tibet. And in terms of economic, we are very much marginalized. If you look at Tibetans in the capital of Tibet, that is Lhasa, 90% of business occupations, right, occupants are from China, and they are running the capital of Tibet. So that is how China is marginalizing Tibetans in their own country. So that is the real picture of Tibet. So if you wish to understand more about Tibet, you can Google, you can visit tibet.net. I'll share the site link to Musa, so he will definitely share you later. So that is a little story of Tibet. So I was born in Tibet, but I left Tibet. Why? There are few reasons. The first very important reason is to get a proper education in India. So if I had been in Tibet, I think I would not have this kind of uh, proper education. I'm not sure whether uh, this is the uh, this is the proper education or not. But if I had stayed back, right, I think the situation would have been different. If you are Tibetan, but if you don't know Chinese, if you don't learn Chinese language, you won't get employment. So that is what is happening in Tibet. Imagine. So I left Tibet, and my journey into India took almost 2 months on foot. Imagine, I walked and I crossed those gigantic Himalayas. Imagine, really, in day we had to sleep so that we could walk in night, because if you walk in night, Chinese soldiers at border may not see you. So if they see you, then they'll definitely put you behind bars. So that is how I escaped Tibet. On way to India, we were short of food. We even ate carcass of yak, that is the national animal of Tibet, and that was very much frozen. And we ate on the way. So I faced lots of problems. So this is a similar fate that has been shared by many Tibetans like me. We have suffered a lot, but under the blessing of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama, our spiritual leader, he has set up more than 80 schools in India. He has set up our government in exile in India. So I was given free education under his guidance, under his blessing. I was when I finished my class 12, and I went on to pursue my BA degree in political science. After Bachelor of Arts, I pursued my MA in political science, and I did not have to pay a single penny for educational cost. Imagine, I was given free of cost. So that is the uh, that is a blessing of His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama. So I'm sure these little story might have given you some understanding of Tibet and Tibetans in exile and Tibetans in Tibet. Now I'll talk on today's topic, that is youth participation in governance, good governance. So we know what is governance, but if we put that adjective word, good governance, then it becomes more effective, and it becomes more responsible, even for a speaker like me. I've been associated with this topic for a long time, really, because I did my BA and MA in political science, so I have little understanding of what is good governance. Then, after finishing my master, I had the privilege of working in an institute um, where we have a very beautiful course, that is 1 year diploma in political leadership and governance. We were giving this course to Indian students. uh, if they if they wish to become leader for their country, then they have to go through certain trainings. So that is very important. So I didn't prepare PowerPoint presentation because I don't have any power, no points to share with you. So I have some experiences, and I think that will make that will make more easy for me, and it is going to be more or less like extempo speaking. So anything that comes in your mind will go straight to you, right? So that is a good part of extempo speaking. Normally whenever we prepare anything, right, we don't speak more than what we prepared, right? So first very important thing is we have to understand what is good governance, what is politics. We all know how politics derived, the evolution of politics. We don't have to uh, I don't have to talk on its origin, right? So I'll just give you a very important statement or perspective that to my mind seems very relevant in today's world. So I quote: politics is perhaps the only profession for which no preparation is thought necessary. So it is very much relevant to today's world. I live in India, and I'm very sorry to say that in India, you don't need proper training to become a public leader. Um, that I'm not talking about Indian civil servant examination. So for that you have to learn a lot. You have to go through different stages. You have to work hard. But to become a public leader, you have to contest election. You have to win election. Once you win that election, then you become a public leader, right? So when somebody becomes a leader, public leader, he or she has certain responsibilities. He or she has to understand how public governance or good governance is maintained. If that person doesn't have proper understanding of how good governance works, right, what is the importance of public and public governance, then it is going to produce lots of problems. And that is happening around the world, right? There are many leaders around the world who come to power through different means, right? You can use your money. You can buy votes, right? So there are many ways. Once you get that power, then you know if you don't have proper understanding of how governance works, how an institution works, then you won't be able to meet people's need. You won't be able to help people's uh, uh, you won't be able to solve people's problem. So that is that is the major problem that the current world is facing. We need more trained leaders, right? There's a very popular saying: good leaders are not born, they are trained. If that is so, if you subscribe that idea or perspectives, then you have to train yourself. And it is very nice to say that we all are training ourselves. Really, we all are training ourselves. Like Musa, he is he is taking lots of responsibilities. Really, he is giving lots of platforms to his fellow uh, you know uh, friends. And that is how we need a proper uh, training and platforms, right? If we culminate all these experiences, once we get a position, once we reach a certain stage, then I'm sure these experiences will help you a lot, really. So I'm speaking in front of you today, and I know speaking in front of people is not easy. It is not everyone's cup of tea, really, right? In school we were trained to speak before people, but no, most of the time we always get we always keep ourselves away from people. And it happened to myself when I was I think it was in class 6 or 7, when I was told to present a poem before uh, my classmates. I was trembling, I was shivering, really, right? But then when I started doing my BA, MA, then I started realizing the importance of public speaking. Why public speaking? If we go back to history, look at Martin Luther King Jr., look at John F. Kennedy, look at Winston Churchill. You know, they are very much good at speaking. When they uh, articulate their ideas clearly, when they articulate their thoughts clearly, then they get lots of followers automatically, really. So if we go to what Martin Luther King once said, I have a dream. So we were trained to speak like him, but I don't know when would we be able to speak like him. But at least if we understand how public speaking is done, how public speaking is being spoken, then it will help us a lot, really. So this is a platform for me, and this is a platform for Musa, and we are 20 right now. So if we wish to become a leader, if we wish to become uh, a leader, right, a proper leader, then this experience will help us a lot. So that's why I will once again quote what Stephen Robertson once said. I quote, politics is perhaps the only profession for which no preparation is thought necessary. So if you wish to become a leader, if you wish to enter into politics, don't think that you don't need preparation. Really, don't think that we don't need preparation. We always need preparation. We have to train ourselves. We have to train ourselves. So that is my first experience. Kindly keep that in your mind. Now, the second thing that I would like to uh, share you with is we all are change maker. We wish to bring some changes in our community. We are always looking at some changes. If if an existing idea or thing is not in proper shape, then we have to replace it with new thoughts, right? So there's a very beautiful thoughts, or I must say advice, given by Mahatma Gandhi. So he once said that be the change you wish to see in the world. Be the change you wish to see in the world. If you really wish to bring a change, right, first you have to change yourself. And even if you can't change yourself, you can change your community by bringing that change. So it says, be the change you wish to see in the world. If you wish to see any change in your community, right, be that change. Be that change. Follow that change, right? Then then only will you be able to follow or bring a good change in your community. So I would like to paraphrase another very powerful statement given by I forgot his name. He said that no power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. Just think on it. No power on earth can stop an idea whose time has come. So how does such idea come? If you have an ability to bring change, if you uh, if you are looking for a change, if you wish to bring a change, then you will have lots of ideas. So once you transform your ideas into reality, and that reality will bring you change, right? Most of the time we keep ideas in our mind. We don't share our ideas with other, right? But you have to share your ideas, right? If you transform that idea into reality, if that reality works, then that is change. So we all say that we are change makers. So we have to understand what is change. Change is not, not an easy task, right? But if you work hard, if you understand the fundamental understanding of change, right, then you can bring change. Because whenever we look at a thing, there are two ways. If you look at things from outside, you will only see the outer, the out the outer part of that thing, right, outside part of that thing. You won't be able to see what is inside. So if you see things, right, inside, then you will understand what is inside. So change is more or less like things that we have to look inside. You can't see from outside. You can't look at the outside. You can't look at the physical appearance of that change. Just immerse, just embrace that change. Only then will you be able to understand what is change and how hard it is going to be, uh, how hard it is going to be for you, right? So that is very important. And the third thing that I would like to share with you is very interesting. We all say that youth can lead, but I'm not sure how many of you are aware of this thing. If you remove th from youth, right, if you remove th from youth, it becomes you can lead, right? When we say youth can lead, now you just remove th from youth, it becomes you can lead. So I'll talk a little bit on this matter. You can lead, youth can lead, you can lead. If you remove th from youth, it becomes youth, right? So whenever you face any problem, whenever a society faces any problem, it is all about you know initiation. It is all about leading. If you want to lead, if you want to initiate, you are most welcome. But in some ways, you will face lots of problems. If you are doing some good works, there are many naysayers. They will pull you back. They will say lots of things that may not seem appropriate for you, right? For that, you have to be mentally strong. You have to be mentally strong. So there's a very beautiful saying by Winston Churchill. He once said, I quote, "You will never reach your destination if you stop and throw stones at barking dogs, all barking dogs." Right. So when the dogs start, barking, right? If you start, throwing stones, they will, bark at you. They won't let you go, right? So just let them bark. Let them bark. Okay, right? You don't have to throw stones at them. Just let them bark, and you go to your destiny. You will reach there, and you can help lots of people there, right? So on way to our destiny, right, if you are leading any movement, any task, any work, any initiation, right, it is important to us to reach our destiny, right. On way to destiny, you will face lots of problems. So during that period, you have to be mentally strong. You have to mentally strong, right? There's a very popular public speaker, motivational speaker. I forgot his name, but I think some of you may know him. He once said that bad things are not coming to stay, they are coming to pass. So when you are having bad days, don't say I'm having bad days. Say I'm having character building days. So how beautiful is that? When you are having bad days, don't say I'm having bad days. Say I'm having character building days. Because when we face lots of problems, when we are in difficult circumstances, it is the right opportunity for us to test our ability to adapt to that problem. If you can adapt, if you can overcome that problem or circumstance, then only then will you be able to become strong, right? Most of the time we always want happy life, right? We always want happy life, but we are not thinking about the other side of happy life. So there's a very beautiful analogy, right? It says life is not a bed of roses. Sometimes you have to face thorns. If you want to have a rose, first you have to cut it from down, right? Then you will face thorns there, really. So that's why it is very important for us to be mentally strong. So that is very important. So now, when I say youth participation in good governance, right? I may not understand how governance works in your country, right? If I speak how governance works in our government in exile, it seems inappropriate. But we all are youth. We all come under youth category, right? So it is our privilege. It is our right to be leaders of tomorrow, right? So if we become leaders, right? If we become leaders, then we need some preparations. So I'm trying to highlight what kind of preparations we need. I know my ideas may not be acceptable to you, but at least there are few things that may seem feasible if you wish to practice, right? Now the fourth thing that I would like to speak on is now one of the major missing in today's world leader is compassion. And it has to I'm talking very realistically, really. Now we need more compassionate leaders, as His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama once said that though this world needs more compassionate leaders. It is very true. If you look at 20th century, right, there were two world wars, right? Now if we look at 21st century, we are still facing lots of problems. Now who can solve these problems? So who can understand poor people's demands? So who can produce good governance? It is all about compassion. It is all about compassion. So His Holiness is also a great admirer of Archbishop Tutu, right? Desmond Tutu. So now, if you look at the common thing in all of them is they're very kind. They are very kind to human beings, right? They are not working for themselves. They are working for others. When they work for others, when they forget their self, right? When we say uh, others before self, so they are keeping that view in their mind. They are working for others, right? If you work for others, then you will be able to produce more energy, and you will be able to contribute more towards your community. So that is very clear. So in today's world we need more compassionate leaders. So I want to make it very clear, really, because compassion is something that we cannot ignore. We all need compassion. Even if you are an atheist, even if you don't believe in religion, you need compassion. So His Holiness the 14th Dalai Lama has given us a very beautiful metaphor in his book Beyond Religion. He once said, compassion based on religion is like a tea, but compassion which is not based on religion is like a water. Now what is the basic component of tea? It is water. You can live without tea, but you can't live without water, really. So we all need compassion, right? We all need compassion. That's why we have to be more compassionate. Now how could we develop compassion? How could we cultivate, the sense of compassion and in ourselves? It is not an easy, but you can read lots of you can read books. You can start introspecting yourself. You can start helping others, and you just have to you just have to forget yourself, and you just try to remove I from yourself. I from yourself, really. Whenever we face problems, whenever we have any bad situations, we always say I. This is my car, this is my house, this is my home. I know I is important, but if your I is in a good position, right, then you can help others. The first, you have to build your I strong. Make your I strong, make yourself strong, right? Like Musa, really. He is a established leader. Now he is helping others, right? If you are not if you are not financially strong, if you are not financially stable, if you are not um, emotionally strong, then you won't be able to help others. So you have to be strong first. That is the first first thing that we have to keep in mind, right? And the fourth thing that the fifth thing that I would like to touch upon is health, right? It is very important. Now, in today's world, in this era, we have this sense of gym, going to gym. I never go to gym. I've never been to gym, but I always do exercises whenever I get time, because if you are healthy, then you will live longer, and you will
Are you there?
important, right? So that is my fifth point. So you can't ignore your health, really. You have to make yourself healthy, right? That is very important. And the sixth point that I would like to touch upon is, as a leader, right, if you want to participate in good governance, I told you earlier that you have to understand the things very clearly. You have to understand things very clearly, right? That is very important. Even there's a saying, little knowledge is dangerous, right? If you know little, right, then if you go to work for something big, then you may land up in problem. You may face lots of challenges there, right? So my sixth point is, you have to read world politics correctly. Now, who is troubling more in this world? China. It is very clear, right? There's always a competition between US and China, right? So we have to understand how their politics works. We have to understand how they view the entire world. What is their ambition? What is their next step? Right? How they are going to uh, promote their idea of nationalism. It is very important. So as a youth, sometimes we get lots of misinformations, information. We get lots of false news, and we tend to believe in them, right? So that is not the right way to do so. We have to uh, check, we have to cross check it. We have to understand the things clearly. So you have to read world politics very correctly. So if you wish to understand China more, right, so I'm not going to recommend you any book, because in today's world now, people are not reading much, really. That is the reality. Now we are uh, turning ourselves to podcast, TED talk, speeches on YouTube, right? That is more easy and more feasible, really. I'll give you an example. Though I read Francis Fukuyama's book, The End of History, it was a very lengthy book, right? I read it, But later I found his talk on YouTube about the book. So when I uh, went through that talk, it is almost same. So I spent almost 7 days reading on that book, and I just spent 1 hour, right, on YouTube to understand what his book talks about. So sometimes it is quite important to study smartly, right? So that's why there are many ways to study smartly. If you really want to know about Tibet, you can visit our website tibet.net. There you'll get lots of articles. There you'll get lots of news, and that will definitely enrich your understanding of Tibet. If you understand Tibet clearly, then you will understand how China captured Tibet, right? Now, now China is trying to capture many more nations around the world, right? Through different means, right? Some explicit means, some implicit means. So that is happening around the world, right? And the last point that I would like to share with you is, be yourself. Be yourself. That is very important. If you if you hold if you hold your position clearly and strongly, then you are strong. Most of the time, there's a very popular, very famous German philosopher, Arthur Schopenhauer, right? He once said that if you read book, that is good, but don't become a slave, a slave of that book. So are you getting what I'm trying to say? When you read book, that is good, but don't become slave of that book. So if you are reading a book called X, right? If you subscribe all ideas given in that book, and if you say, okay, this is the right idea, okay, this is the final, final position that I would like to hold, that is wrong. You have to analyze. You have to think deeply, right? Then you can hold your own position, right? Because I'll give you one very interesting example. When Francis Fukuyama, one of the leading political scientists in today's world, when he wrote The End of History, the whole world thought that now it is the end of communism. But China is still strong, and there are many people who still believe that Francis Fukuyama's book, right, made a huge mistake, right? So that's why and you can't keep a fixed idea in your mind. It may changes, it may change, right? So that's why your mind has to be flexible. You have to welcome all ideas, but you have to have your own position. You have to have your own thought on any particular subject, on anything, right? So that is very important. So this is my last point that I would like to share with you. So overall, if I sum up what I spoke so far, right? Youth participation in good governance, right? Before you participate, you have to prepare. That is my final message, right? So it is not everyone's cup of tea. You can't say now I have to be a public leader. Now I have to be a good leader. But if you don't have certain qualities, if you don't have certain trainings, then you won't succeed. So that is very direct, right? You won't succeed if you don't have proper training. So these are a few experiences that I've shared with you. I'm sure um, whatever I spoke so far may not satisfy your mind, but at least this is how I view it. Youth participation in good governance, right? So we all are youth, and we have to train ourselves first. That is very important, right? So to wind up my talk, I'll leave you with a very beautiful quotation, right? It goes like this: if you don't the self discovery is the beginning of all knowledge. So I forgot the name of name of that person, but he was the first philosopher. So this is what I would like to share with you, right? Self discovery is the beginning of all knowledge. So to participate in good governance, it is very important to prepare yourself, to equip well. So you have to equip well. You have to equip well. So I'll give you a very interesting example at the end. It is more or less like playing PUBG, right? PUBG. I think I'm sure many of you play PUBG. If you are not, if you're not trained well, if you don't know how to play well, then you'll get killed very quickly, right? So PUBG, battlefield is more or less like politics, right? If you enter in that battlefield, if you're not properly trained, if you don't know, if you don't know how to play well, then you won't succeed there. You won't, you will get killed easily there. Thank you very much, Musa. Over to you.
Wow. Thank you very much. Uh, you've really done well from looking at all the points you've listed. I really appreciate the angle you were taking the point from, since different countries has their different policy, how their governance is being ruled, but you're able to bring all together in different points where I see where you talk about the mindset, where you talk about studying, reading smartly, and most importantly, where you were able to summarize it, that as a youth, you have to be passionate. Because leadership deals with being passionate. You're going to serve people. You're not going to serve your pocket.
Yes.
So to me, that's just the summary of what I've been able to pick. Because leadership simply means responsibility. And for you to be responsible, for you to take responsibility, that means you must have acquired a percent numbers of what's it called, experience over time. You must be passionate. You must prepare for whatever responsibility you're going to shoulder yourself upon. So thank you for your point. I really appreciate it. It's been wonderful so far. I know it's very late in India right now.
Yeah,
We should be around,
I normally
what's the
sleep
time
at
now?
11 p.m. So I've still 17 minutes. So I can sleep at
Okay.
11. That is fine.
Okay. So we are very sorry we had to take much of your time. So we are presently at a question and answer. So
Sure, sure.
if you have a question, you can see it's trolling. If you have a question, you can ask your question. So I will display the question on the screen. So Yeshi Dawa, once you see the question, you can just answer. So for this
Sure, sure.
session, I think since you said there's 17 minutes, so we should be able to at least let's take 10 minutes of your time, right?
It's okay. It's okay.
Okay, thank you. So let's wait for the question. So, but while we are waiting, I would like to ask a question from you.
Sure, 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 sure.
You said so far so good. You are presently in India.
Yes.
So how do you see youth participation? What is the percentage of youth participation in governance, good governance over there?
Okay, so I'll talk. Okay, I forgot that point. So in India, I think I don't know the exact percentage, but India is a youthful nation. So some experts say that after 2030, so India will have the most youth population in the world, right? So if you look at the population of China, China's population is aging. They will have more, elderly, people and old peoples, right? So India is going to be a youthful nation. So in that scenario, youth can work a lot. Youth can have a lot of scopes in India. So that so and in India, it is quite different, because in India, if you want to become a leader, you will have to uh, go through different stages in universities. You have to take leadership responsibilities, right? Then after universities, you will get affiliated with any parties in India. So India is a democracy, one of the, I think, the largest democracy in the world. So it has multi-party system. So there are lots of parties. So if you are a responsible leader, if you are a capable leader, the parties will come after you. They will invite you. They'll get you. They'll give you ticket, right? So that, so if you can uh, if you can take that opportunity, then you will reach the zenith of success, right? So in India, you have lots of problems. I mean, there are lots of platforms where you can channelize your potential, and I've experienced it when I was in Indian university, right? I've observed how Indian youths are taking initiation, right? So there are many NGOs in India. There are many organizations in India. Most of them are being run by youth, really. And many of the political parties have youth wing organization, and they are incubating youth leaders, really. And there are many institutions in India. They are also working on incubating young leaders, like my institution, right, where I worked earlier, Institute of Leadership and Governance. You can understand from the name itself, Institute of Leadership and Governance. So our institute is giving 1 year diploma in political leadership and governance. So right, so there are many institutions in India. They're working on incubation of young leaders, and there are also incentives as well. Government of India is also giving awards to young contributors, young leaders. So if you have all these atmospheres, then you feel so happy, right? You feel so happy, and whenever you walk, you won't. You feel more or less like I'm doing something, and my contribution is being recognized by society, right? Though you are not intentionally working for the sake of recognition, but at least if a community or a society gives you recognition, right, without demanding it, and that will give you lots of satisfactions. So that is happening in India.
That's very interesting to hear. I'm asking because I know at least I have nothing less than 10 friends in India who are citizens of the country. And I know they do a lot. They do a lot from Punjab to I can't mention most of their names. There are
Okay,
many
okay.
of them. So and I understand like when you come to Africa and Nigeria, where I am from, when it comes to youth participation in governance, the percentage is just increasing. When you look at 5 years back, we had issue where majority of youth who
Okay,
are capable, who have the skills, who have the capacity, who have the experience, they are not really interested, all because of different factors. All because of
okay.
different factors. Because in a democratic system, there are a lot of hindrance. There are
So it is
a
it is
lot of
actually
hindrance. The
increasing.
old guys, they believe they should be the one. They should be the one in power. That the youth
Yes,
doesn't
yes, yes.
really have what it takes, and they've forgotten that it has to be.
So
What did
the
you say?
percentage of the percentage of youth participation in your country is increasing because of leaders like you. Really.
Well, we are all trying our best. We are all trying our best, and
Yes, yes, you
we are
have
all
to try
trying
your
our
best. You have to
best.
give your 100%. Really.
Yeah, we'll keep pushing. We'll keep pushing. Just like
Definitely,
what
definitely.
the award, the same platform we belong to. What they always say. that you keep pushing, you keep doing your best until whatever goal you set until you achieve it. So on
Yes,
this
yes.
note,
Even if
I think
even
majority are yet to ask their question, but they've been dropping. I think your explanation is very simple. There are no questions, and the most
so
important part
okay,
is
okay. I'll add a very beautiful point, okay, on your remarks. You said, you're going to do your best, right? It doesn't matter even if your goal is reached or not, right? The best part is, the most important part is to work hard. If you really work hard in a day, right? If you are working, giving your 100% on anything, right, that you are doing, at night when you lay your head on pillow, you will have more, relaxing, sleep, right? Before you sleep, you will have these kind of thought. You would feel like, oh, today I did something, right? It doesn't matter even if, if that work is, done or not. At least you gave your 100%, so that will give you some sorts of relaxation at night. That happens, right? That is
yes,
the
yes,
that is our goal.
exactly, exactly. So on this note, once again, we would like to appreciate your time, the knowledge you shared with us, most especially from Tibet. The story of Tibet really inspired me, and I will look forward to, because even me myself, I was trying to look for the flag of Tibet. I can't really find it, and I'm like, no, 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 no. Definitely, I need to read something about these people. And looking at your story, I understand your story when it comes to migrants, other stuff. You're really an inspiring leader. You're very focused. You're a young leader. You've been an inspiration to Tibetan, and I really appreciate that. Well done to all what you do. Well
Definitely,
done.
Muza.
I really
Thank you so
appreciate that.
much for inviting me. So today, actually, I had to speak on youth participation and governance. Right, that is my topic. So I didn't. What should I say? Dodge from the topic, completely. So I touched upon the importance of Tibet a little bit. So uh, I think in coming years, in coming days, in coming months, right, if we get time, right, then I'll surely talk more details on Tibet, the story of Tibet, right? So if we get time, right,
No
if we
problem.
all get time, so let us see what happens.
No, no problem. We will discuss that once we
For
agree.
sure.
Then we'll
Sure,
definitely
sure.
schedule something out.
Yes, yes,
So
thank you.
people are coming up. They are investing. They are happy that you are here. So we really appreciate you. You can see some
Thank
of
you.
the comments so far.
Okay,
Some
okay,
of the
thank you so
comments so
much.
far. So we really appreciate you. So on this note, I would like to. What's the if you want to say thank you in Tibetan language?
Tukjeche.
Tumjeje.
Yes, yes, Tukjeche.
Okay, okay. What about Hindi?
Hindi, Dhanyawad.
Danewat. Oh, Tunjeje. Danewat.
Yes, yes. So how do you say in your language, your mother tongue?
Wow. Okay. Nigeria, we are using English as the general language, which is
Okay, okay,
normally
fair enough.
thank you. Then
Okay,
we
okay.
have
I'll
the
note
other
that for
local
reference.
language. Mine,
Okay,
mine is Yoruba. We say Esheun.
okay,
We
Ashu.
say Yoruba Esheun.
Okay, okay,
Then
cool.
we have the other tribe as well. We have the Hausas, Nagode, and we have
Okay,
the
okay.
Igbo, we have Dalu.
So
So it's really an
before I leave, I would like to place a very humble request. So you just share.
okay.
I think some of your colleagues shared that link, right? Tibet.net.
Okay, this one. Are you
Yes, yes,
talking
yeah, yes,
about
yes, yes,
this?
yes, yes. www.tibet.net. So kindly share this website to your friends, right? To your friend circle, so you will know more about Tibet. And so this is also a small task, small task that I'm holding. Really, I'm a Tibetan, so this is my moral responsibility, right?
Okay.
So kindly
No problem
do
about that.
search, do surf tibet.net and to learn more about Tibet. So next time when we get time, when I speak on Tibetan story, Tibetan issue, then you will get more, you will get more questions to ask, right? So thank you. Thukje
You're
che.
welcome. You're welcome, bro. Yeah. Thank you
Okay.
for having us once again. I really
Okay.
appreciate.
Okay. Okay.
And do have a nice night. Mm.
Okay. Thank you so much.
So on this note, you're welcome. On this note, we'll be saying goodbye. So we'll be having our next section, which will be coming up soon. Thank you, everyone. Thank you for your time. Thank you for listening. So bye.